Would you let your 6-year-old start a fire or use a hammer and saw? For decades, special playgrounds in the UK have given children free rein.
Now the concept of adventure play is slowly spreading in the United States. Brook Silva-Braga visited playgrounds on both sides of the Atlantic to learn more and is here with what he saw. Brook.
Good morning. Well, if you grew up on slides and swings, these adventure playgrounds can be pretty shocking. They often look more like junkyards. There's usually no normal playground equipment, not many rules, no direction on what to do. Organizers say they'd like to see a bunch more of these open across the U.S., but that will take some new thinking about what playgrounds and childhood are supposed to look like.
I'm just hammering in some nails.
While some kids hammered and others sawed,
I want to tip it over there.
Jonah Schwartz got an idea.
I just decided that this is getting really crowded and...
That's true. And so the 11-year-old started building an addition to the playground fort.
And there's a sign that says, kids do not need advice or suggestions. So, like, I can just basically do whatever I want.
Do you think this thing's gonna hold?
Might, maybe one or two kids.
This is Playground NYC, 50,000 square feet of dirt where the boundaries of childhood have been redrawn.
This is a space where children can make their own decisions about what is quote-unquote risky.
Rebecca Faulkner opened the Adventure Playground last summer, joining a tiny handful of spaces in the U.S. that give kids dangerous tools and invite them to make a mess. You're actually making mud.
We're making mud. Mud is very popular.
Should we angle this one too?
Your call.
Could I borrow this hammer?
The staff, called play workers, offer some supervision but very little direction. Adventure playgrounds first blossomed in the UK after World War II. One of them was Glamis, still open here in East London.
Do what you want, it's a free place. You just have loads of fun. You can't do anything that they'll say, no, you can't do it. You're just free.
How free? Well, after taking a sledgehammer to these wood pallets, we watched the kids pile up the broken boards and set them on fire. If it all looks a bit dangerous, the workers here, like Penny Wilson, say that's the point. You think the risk is a positive?
I think the risk is definitely a positive. Children are doing things that children are perfectly capable of, but we as adults decide that they're not because we feel uncomfortable.
But even in London, that argument has faced pushback, and adventure playgrounds have been changing or even closing, in part over safety concerns. In the U.S., 61 pages of federal playground guidelines now warn against everything from grass to rope swings. That's why Playground NYC isn't actually in New York City, but on Governor's Island, a former military base just south of Manhattan.
Governor's Island is unique. There are different rules here that don't apply to the city.
This is like an outlaw playground.
That's
You have
right.
to take a ferry.
You have to take a ferry, you have to find it. It's a destination.
But even here, we saw signs America may not quite be ready for a London-style adventure playground. Parents here are required to sign a legal release. Not so in the UK. And unlike London, adults are not allowed inside. Why? We asked head play worker Luke Sutton, who used to run an adventure playground in Wales. Do you notice a difference in the kids in Wales and here?
No. Play's universal.
Kids.
Yeah.
Do you notice a difference between the parents?
Yeah. Parents here lean against the fence and tell the kids what to do it and how, as though they're not innately capable of that already.
But Rebecca says the parents aren't kept out just for the children's sake, but as part of an effort to retrain the parents to leave their kids alone.
You cringe a little bit, you want to know that your kids are safe, but you also want them to figure things out.
She stepped on a nail. It's gonna be okay.
Embracing the freedom of adventure play may be easy in theory.
Excuse me, guys.
But what happens when someone steps on a nail? When it happened to Addison Block, we noticed her mom, Jill, let her other daughter keep playing.
We went in knowing that it's a place they could get hurt. It's the type of experience that kids in the city don't always get. I think that's great.
Would you bring them back?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Playwork is, on a human level, it's a direct challenge to the dominant paradigm of childhood. That being that children are weak, that children are incapable, that children need to be protected and held and sheltered from the fears and dangers of the world. But if that were true, then we as a species would have gone extinct long ago.
Luke, the head play worker, said he blamed himself for Addison stepping on that nail. He says there's a difference between risks and hazards, and it's his job to eliminate hazards like a nail hidden in the dirt. But risks like swinging a hammer or standing high above the ground, those are things the kids need to conquer themselves.
And we should point out you could even step on a nail in a regular playground.
Yeah, I've done it. I've done it.
You can, and they say actually accidents are no more common at these playgrounds than ordinary playgrounds.
But that supervision part, I mean, they're at least there, those playground workers.
Right, there are play workers there all the time. It's actually one of the reasons these playgrounds are expensive to maintain. You need staff all the time, and it's led to some closures because that's hard to afford.
These do look like the junkyards that every kid wanted to play in, though, I have to say.
They are, and a lot of, especially older people we spoke to, said this reminds me of the kind of free childhood I had that's become increasingly uncommon.
I was going to say the junkyard that they were playing in, parents didn't know about it.
Yeah.
Brook Silva-Braga, thank you.